Welcome back in, guys. We got the legendary Brago here with us today. Today, we're here to talk about his favorite character in One Piece yet again. We talked about Corona last week, and this week we're talking about Arlong, the Saw.
Let's get it.
I didn't actually know he had an epithet like
What's
that.
his epithet?
The Saw.
Yeah. Sounds like it's
I
made
don't know
up.
where the wiki got that from. Yeah, it actually does sound made up, but it's on the wiki, so maybe there's some justification for it. Or it could be headcanon, who knows?
Both.
So when I say the name Arlong, what kind of emotion does that spark in you? Joy, happiness, sadness, anger?
I think it might be joy. It's
Okay.
like, I look at Arlong as a character, and he did some pretty messed up stuff, right? But it's just like,
Yeah. Depending on who you ask.
but it's like I really enjoyed Arlong every time he was on screen, so it's messed up because of stuff that he did, but it was just like he added so much to the arc, yeah,
He's a likable
yeah,
guy.
right. It's messed up as that, but like I don't have any let's say bad feelings towards like Arlong,
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I feel like for me, Arlong was kind of a turning point in the series where I started really liking the villains. Because leading up to Arlong in the East Blue Saga, we had Captain Kuro. While he did his plan, he started attacking his crew. We had Buggy, who didn't really care for his subordinates. And then we had Don Krieg, who, slapped Gin and beatboxed Sanji.
Yep.
And then we had Arlong, who actually looked out for the homies. Like, he actually cared about his crew. And I was like, you know what? I can get behind Arlong. Maybe not if I was a human, but if I was a fishman, I feel like he'd be a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing with Arlong, where it's like, he feels like the fishman, we're kind of superior, we do all that. But I think he just enhanced everything he's a part of. Even though it was crazy, it wasn't as bad to the point that, we hate his character. People love Arlong, man.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder why Oda hasn't brought him back yet. I was kind of hoping that, when I was like back in high school or middle school when Impel Down was going on, I was like, yo, like, I really hope Arlong's there, right? Crocodile showed up. I was like, yo, where's Arlong?
Yeah, Arlong is one of those characters that he definitely will come back. And when he comes up, you're like, oh, crap. Like, that's freaking Arlong, But it's just, he also doesn't like humans, so it's like...
Do you think he'd have a change of heart if he sees what Jinbei has become? I guess he's always been the same, but do you think Arlong would have a change of heart later on?
I don't see it.
He's too far gone,
so
right? Like,
far
I keep
gone.
on forgetting this is a grown ass man.
I do not see him having a change of heart seeing that, because he's just like, nah, Fishman is superior, period. It is what it is, but like, change of heart, Arlong, nah, it just wouldn't fit.
All right.
I think it'd have to be like,
He'd have to be forced to do it or something for the greater good of
Fishman.
Fishman.
Be something else.
That's the only way.
Like, nah, no way.
What about this? How about out of all three of the East Blue villains, the big ones, right? Arlong, Don Krieg, and Captain Kuro. If one of them had to have a change of heart and help the Straw Hats, which one do you think it would be? And it's tough because they're all egoists. They're all kind of, they're not the nicest of people. But if one of them had to have a fairy tale moment where, Naruto came down from the heavens, gave him the good old handshake saying, hey, I knew your father, like, which one of these dudes do you think will actually be good? If we had to pick
between, one. Captain Kuro, Arlong.
Yeah, Arlong and Don Krieg.
Yo.
Yeah, right? It's not an easy list. I
would say Kuro, because he was trying to get out. He wanted out of the game. So if you just offer like, yo, all right, bro, he can get out. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, bet. So I think Captain Kuro. The others, they were invested, man. They're invested. Whatever the hell.
They had a whole plan.
Whatever the hell Don Krieg did to get, Mihawk mad. It's like,
No, he didn't do anything, dude. Don Krieg said he was just sailing, bro. He said he was minding his own business. And then Mihawk attacked him out of nowhere
Just
like
from
a
existing,
storm.
Mihawk is just like to
Yeah,
get
I
him
feel
out
bad
of
for
here. I don't know,
Don
bro, because Don Krieg is kind of like the king of prep time. He had all this different stuff, like all this.
The king of prep time. Whoa. You saying he's like the Batman of
Bro,
the universe?
he had
What's going on here?
The goggles ready. He had all this stuff ready. Like he was ready to go, bro. Like I like Don Krieg so much, but like Arlong, I think he presented the right level of villainy, where as a character he showed exactly. It's crazy because sometimes it seemed like he was showing humanity, right, in different aspects.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was always like trying to do everything to keep Nami under his thumb. It especially got crazy when it got to the point where you realize in the arc, Nami's never gonna get free. Like he never plans on letting her go. This whole time he's been lying, and for Arlong, there's no skin off his back. She's a human. Like I don't care about humans.
She's a human.
You know.
No big deal.
So it's just like a level of villainy that you really appreciate, because he was just doing this thing that he set out to do regardless. You know, I don't like humans. I'm a fishman, and that's kind of just how it is. You know. And
then we got the backstory too.
Yeah. I believe it was that was one of the things in the it's like a plot hole I talked about, where with Hody in the anime, it added like a flashback of I guess Hody Jones being attacked by slave traders.
Oh dang!
Yeah, it never happened in the manga, just filler. And I say how important that is, because it kind of takes away from what we know for Hody.
Oh yeah, and then Arlong saves him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
See, good guy.
Right. But they're saying it takes away from him because basically Hody is supposed to be the embodiment of. I don't really have any issues. I just don't like him, you know.
I love that during Hody's thing, he had Arlong like whispering, like, "Hey, hate the humans, kill them,
so
they're
him,
inferior."
He was just like, that's the type he was. So it's, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But nah, Arlong, it's perfect how he goes about things. He had like the sweet hookup with Rat Boy, where it's just like just doing everything possible and just letting it slide.
I love the nickname. Just Rat Boy.
just letting it slide, bro. Like
Hey, put some respect on Nezumi, bro.
A setup that is, like, where you're in your own corner over here, just doing whatever you want to do, and like just getting the help, assistance of the world, the government. Like, you have no issues. Like, you're basically a warlord before we got to the warlords.
He's a King Arlong over here.
Like he was doing warlord things.
That's crazy.
It's just like, that's why with Arlong, it's when we think about One Piece villains, One Piece antagonists, he's always gonna come up because he resonated with a lot of people. He was so evil, right? He was just a bad person, especially to Nami, and so people are gonna look at Arlong like, yeah, I like Arlong. I like what he brought to the story, and it kind of offsets some of the bad things he did because of the impact he had, so.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And one of my favorite parts about Arlong's character is it kind of built up Fishmen as evil characters just based off like everybody from Kokoyashi Village. And then we actually get to Fishman Island and it's like, no, they're nothing like Arlong. There's nice fishmen out there. And it really just shines a light on that. And I really love just the narrative for it, saying, no, not everybody's like Arlong. Like, this guy is kind of just an extremist.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, in these situations, it was just like, everybody has different personality, different ways to go about things.
Yeah.
Like I said, Arlong is just like super just like out there, and Hody's the same way. Like Hody was like downing those pills, doing all this weird stuff. It's like, it's just like weird different mentality. But like you said,
if Hody was more like Arlong, he'd be better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Hody, like, didn't he start like attacking his own fishmen and stuff like that? Like Hody started attacking his own fishmen, and then he was like, you know what, we're just gonna destroy Fishman Island. Like, the other half of the fishmen that don't agree with me, they're living the wrong lives. We just got to get rid of them and start over. Like, I was like, ooh, okay, now you lost me, Hody. I can't rally behind that. What do you want me to do with that? You know what I'm saying?
Like, my shirt a little bit. Yeah.
Like, what?
Like,
okay, But I think just like it feels like Arlong was the warlord unofficially. That's what he was doing. He had his own country or his own island, and he had the assistance of the world government technically, and so he was just doing his thing over there, and so it's just like to accomplish something like that in the midst of just hating humans and just ruling with an iron fist and accomplishing your goals. It's like, yeah, this dude had such a sweet setup, but he was just so likable in the midst of him not liking humans. I love you some Arlong, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I loved it when Usopp beat Chu, and then Usopp came back, and then Arlong was like visibly shook. He was like, Chu, like, what did you do, you human? I was like, yeah, no, that's how a captain should react, right? Like when Luffy and Zoro took out Moji and Kabaji, Buggy was like, look at these imbeciles. Like, no, like Arlong's the captain, bro. Like that's what I enjoyed about him.
He cares. He cares about fishmen. They're important to him. It's just, I guess he's like a really super racist. Like it's like, like fishmen or die. Like, yeah. He tried
for a minute. And then the minute they betrayed Fisher Tiger, he gave up.
Which I understand, right?
Yeah, I understand. I just feel bad because like if he kept on going and if he tried just a little bit more like Jinbei, I feel like we could have had a great guy. But I feel like it's like night and day because we needed a character like Arlong to make a character like Jinbei more likable. Not more likable, but shine brighter, I guess is a better way to put it.
It's such a great story beat. Because you had someone like Jinbei release Arlong, and it kind of led into the whole Nami, Sanji, Jinbei thing, where it's like, yo, he was responsible, but it's like, wait, hold on, there are other factors at play here,
Yeah, Nami understood.
Yeah, Sanji really wasn't trying to understand.
I mean, hey, Sanji, Sanji's like, I gotta protect Nami, I gotta protect all the women out there.
So he's kind of taking that personally, but it's that's actually crazy how much they're connected. But no, it's Arlong is as far as antagonists, you got the Dofis, the crocodiles. Arlong gets mentioned up there, I think, consistently.
Does he? No way. I haven't heard anybody talk about Arlong in the past 10 years. Consistently, when we talk about top 5 antagonists, after you get past Doflamingo and Crocodile, it gets to the Arlong, Enel, Kaido, around there, and I'm hard pressed to place Arlong in that spot. Maybe. I do think it comes down to is he better than someone like Enel, because Enel is just such a different charismatic figure. Like, do you feel like Arlong was better than that? Because they kind of were doing the same thing where Enel had his own. Enel had like, he had the whole setup, bro. He was God.
He was God, But for Arlong, to those people, he was God too. You know what I'm saying? I need my tribute. I need it now.
The impact that Arlong made in just 20 episodes.
Yeah,
it's huge. Like, if he had 100, 200 chapter arc like Big Mom or Kaido, Arlong could be a monster.
I remember that's kind of like you said, our introduction to Fishman too. Huge. So it was just like it kind of carved out in our minds just how they should be, and I can't wait for him to come back. I know when he comes back, he's gonna be epic. Yeah.
Do you think he will?
For sure. I think Oda enjoys that. He likes bringing characters back and like having the characters be, and you're opening the chapter, you're like, oh crap, I didn't know that character. That's a character. It's like, well, yeah, and they're back. Even before cameo, it's just like he keeps the characters, saves them, uses them, and it's always a great nostalgia trip seeing those characters, because it's like, man, I'm happy these characters are here and back in the story. Like with Rob Lucci and Kaku, like they didn't do that much, right? But just them being there, it was just like, yo, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? We got those characters working here again. I don't know, Israel.
Could you see Arlong, a little bit of fanfic here. Could you see Arlong saving Nami?
Whoa. That would feel a bit too Marvel-y, right?
too forced. Like he turns around and like Arlong takes a bullet that kills him for Nami, and he turns around and he's like, Nami, let's go make maps again. And then he's like crying and smiling at the same time.
Like, it has to be like a crazy concept. I don't know. I don't see it. Yeah, right. It's just too like Marvel, like roundabout way for resolution to happen. It's like kind of crazy, you know. But I feel like for characters like that, you don't necessarily have to make them like the redemption doesn't come from them being good, right? The redemption comes from like them being evil, being likable, you know, staying true to themselves. I think that's why people love Doflamingo, because he's just evil, right? Like he's just a bad guy. He's just a bad person, you know, but he does care about the people he cares about. But at the end of the day, this is who he is, you know, because you have his brother on the other hand, you know, was raised the same way. He's like a Marine, you know, so it's just like, yo, Dofi. I believe Corazon said he felt like Doflamingo was born evil, right? Which is like crazy.
Like, bro, come on. You could have tried. I feel like if Corazon stuck around, maybe Doflamingo could have went down a different path.
Maybe. Especially if he feels like, you know, he got abandoned, et cetera, and so it's just like, because he got,
and then he lost his brother. His brother's just gone for like 10 years.
Trable and come on,
bro. Treble,
come on, bro.
He got groomed essentially. Like Treble showed up in front of Doflamingo, was like, "Here's a gun, here's a devil fruit. Let's go rule the world." And they were like in the middle of a trash heap. It's like, nah, I would not trust Treble.
It's just like, okay.
And then they had Virgo there too, you know, like a stake on his face. Why would you trust these guys?
Like, what is going on here? I would like to get some more self-reflection, like more character moments for Arlong. Not necessarily about how evil he is, but for him and his realization of the impact of the things he's done, and the impact of Fisher Tai, the impact of Jinbei, and just showing some growth in that area, because then that could round out Arlong's character to give him some more kudos, because he's kind of like, you know, I don't want to say like Vegeta, you know, where it's like, I know I don't like him, but like it kind of is what it is at this point, you know, not really buddy, but you know, I know what you
mean. Man, if he does come back, which I am hoping he does too, when do you think is the appropriate time? Because we're in the final saga, right? One Piece maybe has like 4 or 5 years left, and then it's over. Like, when is the appropriate time to say, hey, it's time to draw Arlong in the story? He escaped from whatever marine base he's being held at, and he's gonna jump back into the final events of the story, whether it's the final war, whether it's just in passing. Like, who knows? Maybe he even shows up on Egghead. At some point, he probably will come back. But I just don't know when, how, and if he does show back up, he's got to be a little bit stronger, because at this point in the story, like, Luffy could probably COC him to death.
He's gonna be inherently stronger. He's gonna definitely get a glow up, hockey, all that different stuff.
Hockey.
Let's give it.
I hope. I mean, hey, he's Jinbei's brother. He needs it,
hockey,
right?
Man. Let's give him that hockey.
Give him the hockey.
And he comes back. I would say once we're sure about what the final arc looks like, right? That I feel like is gonna incorporate the One Piece verse, where even if you're not at that specific location, you're gonna be fighting for something where you are. You know, I think it's gonna be like a revolution, like worldwide. And so for Arlong, does he, like, if you say you care about Fishman this much, right? And at this point, Fishman Island should be destroyed. And so now you're fighting for a better world for Fishman. And that's a lot of redemption, because for Arlong, it's kind of like, I love Fishman. You know, this is what I do. And even if it means fighting alongside humans that would make it better for Fishman, I'll do it. You know, look at like Rob Lucci and Kaku. Like they were fighting with the Straw Hats. You know, they were like making faces, all this different stuff, and like people loved it. It's like, yo, this is crazy.
Oda was testing the waters with Rob Lucci and Kaku. Know? He's like, hey, they're gonna love Arlong, Don Krieg, and Captain Kuro.
That trio is so nasty.
I'd be excited. Eric the Whirlwind too.
That's such a nasty setup. But I just see like a lot of these people, they don't really have as much purpose right now. And so you can incorporate them and throw them in how you can, just as a nice free for all that Oda mentioned before. That's how it's going to be. That was going to happen in the final war. So I think it's actually set up perfectly for these guys to contribute and add to some of the toxicity that Oda promised.
Hey, I'm all about it. And, you know, with that being said, hey, thank you, Brago, for joining. I keep on almost wanting to call you BDA. I don't know why. Like, that's just your name to me. Just BDA.
BDA works, Brago, you know, all those work, but BDA, man, that's cool too. That's cool too. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Yeah, just youtube.com/@BDALaw. You know what it is.
Yo.
I love that. It's an ongoing joke
exactly.
now.
Like, it's not even me,
medical
bro. It's
equipment.
not even me, but nah, go check them out at BDA Law.
Go check that guy.
It's crazy, but shout out to Sai. I appreciate you having me, bro. This is always a great time.
Of course, anytime.
Fun talking about Arlong. I haven't really talked about Arlong in this in a while, and he's such a cool character. Now I want to reread Arlong Park.
I think whenever I have you on here, we're just gonna bring up one random character out of the hat and just talk about them for like 20 minutes or something. I think that's the goal.
Now Jin is next. But yeah, nah.
Jin is next. Hey, Captain Kuro. I'm voting for Captain Kuro.
That was my guy. Like when I first started One Piece. Then the more I read One Piece, the more I'm like, yo, Captain Kuro is a loser. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, that's
wait,
my
wait,
guy.
wait.
Yo, that's my guy.
Kuro?
I just think it's just, you become this infamous pirate and then you try to like scurry away into the corners as like this butler because you don't want to be known.
Yeah, he's chilling, dude. It's like Vinland Saga. Have you watched Vinland Saga?
I haven't yet. Well, I haven't watched season 2 yet. I'm rewatching season.
No, season one. Season 1. It's like Thor's.
Oh, okay.
It's like Thor's. You know, he didn't want to go about the war life anymore. He wanted to chill. Because he went back. He got back in the game. Vinland Saga is dope.
I'm rewatching. I love
good.
it so much. Ashclass is my boy. Obviously Thorfinn. You know, I really enjoy Vinland Saga.
Dude, I'm caught up to the manga.
Like
man.
that show.
So
man.
good.
I was like, I'm gonna rewatch season 1 so I can watch season 2 because it's just that damn good. It's just damn good, bro. I love it.
And then after season 2, you need to read the manga.
I'm on it. Our season 2 has been fantastic. So it's just like it's so much good stuff, so many good things, and that's one of them. Can't wait. I really can't wait.
It really makes me question my life when I watch that show. I'm like, man,
it's tough.
Peace is kind of nice
because like when you see everything Thorfinn went through and like everything he had to overcome, like, man, that's a boy that's been through a lot. You know what I mean?
It's character growth 101. The anime. That's all it is.
It's like a lot of great character moments. Like, characters are important in that show. Like, it's not really about fights, so it's about the characters. And so that's why I really love Vinland Saga.
Characters and world building, and it's like 5% historical.
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched it,
it's kind of there.
I wasn't paying attention to what they were saying about the Danes and I was like, what the? I was like, okay. Like, then after I was watching the second time, I'm like, oh, that is kind of important. Right?
Oh,
that's
this guy existed
for Astrolad and et cetera, et cetera. But nah, it's one of those, man. It's one of those. It's one of the great ones. It's one of the great ones for sure.
I like how we're here promoting a different anime.
I came for Arlong. Who the hell is?
It happens.
What Vinland? What the heck? Hey, man.
Yeah, what's the opposite? We could say who's Arlong again? Who's this guy? All I know is his sister, Madame Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy sister, man. If you had a sister like Charlie, would you bang her?
If I'm a fishman, why not?
All right. Well, with that being said, you guys got the answer there. Please check out BDA. He's in the description down below. And you guys, thank you for stopping by. Have a great night.